Now we are starting lecture on World War II, but again we have not yet reached till that situation of World War, and therefore my recommendation is that you have to observe First World War, situation before First World War, situation after First World War. All these lectures are available on YouTube, so kindly observe these lectures and then start observing this lecture. Now we are focusing here on, literally speaking, World War II, but before that at least 40 to 45 minutes I have to spend on certain other topic, that is some sort of biography of Adolf Hitler. Here keep in mind, I can't separate out World War II and Adolf Hitler. I can even separate out Mussolini or Joseph Stalin also, but I can't separate out Adolf Hitler from World War II, and therefore I must go in little bit biography of Adolf Hitler. No doubt if you are going to study only, then this biography is not that useful, but if you want to study World War from basic reason and what sort of ideology was there in Europe in those days, then for that purpose Adolf Hitler is an important factor. Number one, if whatever I am going to discuss with you, that is no doubt to certain extent controversial matter, because everybody is having freedom to express their views. Some people may say Adolf Hitler was very bad, worst man in the world, and some may say no, he was great man. I don't want to go to any one side, but we want to check out the values. Now this is really important lecture from leadership quality lecture also, and from that purpose also you can observe this. Now let us start out to the subject. The history is always having various views. If you want to observe history in detail, particularly about this Adolf Hitler, then my recommendation is that you can go through certain books, that is Rise and Fall of Third Reich. I am revising the name of book, Rise and Fall of Third Reich. Third Reich, that is Third Empire, but in German they are calling as Reich. So name of book, Rise and Fall of Third Reich, written by William Scherer. Now this William Scherer was observed various incidents in the and before World War II closely. He was interpreter of Adolf Hitler, and he wrote this very nice book. So my recommendation is that obviously first try to go through this book, and then you can search out various books available on internet, or even YouTube videos are there, but don't make your opinion immediately observing one video or immediately reading out only one book. No, balance reading and balance attitude here is important. In case of Adolf Hitler, he was a great man. You can say worst or bad or whatever, but he was great man, that is also fact. He was very cruel man. Yes, accept it. He ignited, I am not using word here initiated, he ignited World War II. Fact. And suppose he was the winner of World War II, then he must, in those days, he was worshipped by many of the people in world. Now keep in mind, in India, particularly I am talking from Indian view here. In India was ruled by Britishers, and whatever views are given by Britishers were considered as standard from Indian point in those days, and therefore as Britishers were having enemy as Hitler, we were also calling, yes, Hitler is bad man. But let us check out first step. He was not from any royal origin. Keep in mind, many great leaders, suppose we are talking of Chhatrapati Shivaji from India. He was a great leader, but he was having origin from royal family. His father was a capable ruler and he was able to defeat Mughals, 80,000 Mughal army by his own power for Nizam Shah as well as for Adil Shah, the enemies. But still, it is fact that Chhatrapati Shivaji was having clear-cut royal origin. If you observe same way, let us check out another leader in those days, that was Mussolini, Benito Mussolini from Italy. He was not having royal origin. He was an ordinary man. Initially, he started his career something like a teacher. Then onwards, shifted to journalist. Then established his party and then got power in hand. So like that, various people in those days got power in their hand. Joseph Stalin is best example. Joseph Jugashvili is original name. He was also layman and got power. Lenin, son of teacher, got power in hand of Russia. So like that, Hitler was also not having origin in royal family. He was a layman. His father was government servant. In those days, Austria and Germany, or whatever we are calling Germany today, in those days we are calling as Prussia. So Prussia and Austria were separate nations, but both were having language as German. Now, Hitler was not originally German or Prussian. He was Austrian by birth. Whereas his village, the native place, that was close to Prussian border, but it was there in Austria. So by birth, Hitler was not Prussian, he was Austrian. His father was government servant and his wish was same, that Hitler should have same future, that he should serve government and no doubt he can remain safe, etc., etc. But Hitler was not ready to do that. Hitler was very poor in study. If you compare Benito Mussolini here, the Benito Mussolini was the clever student in his classroom, whereas Hitler was not at all. He spent various years in same standard. He was having fantastic what we can say affinity towards history, but other subjects he was not that good, and ultimately Hitler left out school when he was in 9th standard because his father died because of some disease that is called as lung hemorrhage, followed by Hitler was also victim or symptoms were showing that he is also going to get same disease, and so doctor asked his mother, and then he was there not in school. He was in 9th standard at that time, and then he celebrated that day by drinking liquor, and then he was there in some upside the road, he was falling. His neighbor brought him to home, and then Hitler decided never to drink again. Keep in mind, on that day, after that, he never drank that any liquor, or even he was pure vegetarian after that. No smoking, no non-veg food, as well as no liquor. It is really a great thing. Keep in mind, in those days, in Germany or Austria, whatever the thing, the person living without liquor, all right, but consuming only veg food, bit difficult. As it was there in biography of Gandhiji, he said that pure vegetarian restaurants were not observed in England in those days. Somewhat that period is matching out. So in those days it was very difficult that person can stay non-veg, pure vegetarian. And again, many people are having this type of attitude that a cruel person is compulsory non-veg consumer, but he is the cruel-most person and still pure vegetarian. Forget of that. Then he lost his mother also and came to Austria, capital of Austria, that is Vienna. His mother died because of cancer, father died because of lung hemorrhage, and ultimately he was alone. I don't know what happened to his brothers and sisters, because he was having step sisters also, but in those days I don't have record. After that again we have record, but in between that no. He was staying alone in Vienna, in public shed around Danube River. He was not getting food for many days to eat. He tried there different styles of work, labor, etc. But he was not carried out any permanent job. In those days particularly, he was interested in drawing, but he was not getting admission in college because his school education was not completed. Then he tried laborious work, and then he turned to reading. You are aware that in many cities, libraries are free of cost. One can go and read there. So like that, Hitler was sitting in library. In those days, he carried out tremendous reading, particularly on topic of war. Keep in mind now, here onwards the life of Hitler changed out to certain level, because now he was focused. In earlier life he was not focused, but now he was focused on war, because he was reading maximum to war level. Then still his life was very, very hard. He was having various friends, but still his life was very hard.